Attention!
Now that I have your attention, let's talk about today's game, which is Bishi Bashi Special for the PlayStation 1. It's actually a European release on one disc of two Japanese releases, which were Bishi Bashi Special 1 and 2, but obviously translated into English. As can be seen from this clip, I believe it's Super Bishi Bashi, because the two releases are actually separately loaded on the disc as Super Bishi Bashi and Hyper Bishi Bashi. Anyway, as can be seen, there's a large number of mini-games, a total of 85 between both versions, and some of them are pretty bizarre. I'll show a clip of "Oh no, it's gonna explode" later, and wow, Jump for the Meat. Here's Jump for the Meat. It's fantastic. For some reason, you play a muscle-browned bodybuilder who's on a desperate quest for protein on a pogo stick. Do you really think you'd see that in Crysis or Halo 3, or developed by Infinity Ward Studios? I think not. Look at this. This is fantastic. And for some reason, the Japanese are obsessed with Moai from Easter Island. They're always in games, especially Konami games. Maybe it's meant to be a reference to the Nemesis series, Gradius series. Who knows? Anyway, it's just fantastic, isn't it? The other thing I never understood about video games is why meat looks like a bone with some sort of a meat cylinder wrapped around it. Who the hell can tell what that's all about? Answers on a postcard, please. The Bishi Bashi series of games were actually originally arcade games created by Konami, as you just saw. And they are a series of mini-games which are controlled essentially by a small number of buttons, and in this case of the PlayStation you can use the controller directions as well. It's somewhat similar in concept to the microgames you get in WarioWare, but predates the WarioWare series of games. And I must say the games are quite insane. In Bishi Bashi, you can actually play anywhere between one player, which is kind of sad, like me, or up to 8 players at once using 2 multi-taps on the PlayStation 1. But it's a lot of fun. Well, at least this minigame is a lot of fun. What you do is essentially play a bit of a logic puzzle, where you press the button to determine who's going to blow up. And the plan is that it's not you. Fairly straightforward if you're watching the video there. You can only do up to 3 presses at a time. So, yeah, try and work out how to manipulate the presses and keep track of what the other people press, so that you don't get down to 0 presses when it's on you. Like I did for this demonstration video. Kaboom! Ha ha ha! The graphics are cute, aren't they? You gotta love that. No shortage of cute graphics on minigame compilations, though, I gotta tell you. My first introduction to the Bishi Bashi series was when I was visiting London, and a friend of mine, Anthony, who took me to a pub, got me half-cut of Budweiser, and then took me to an arcade where I played the Bishi Bashi arcade game really badly, but apparently quite amusingly. And it's certainly the kind of game where you'd probably appreciate it more if you were drunk while you were playing it. Particularly the minigame involving throwing pies at a wedding procession, or the Jump for Meat one, which you saw in the previous clip. Upon shenanigans to twist your melon indeed. Here's another prime example of crazy minigame action, this time from the Hyper Bishi Bashi. Uncle Bean! I have no idea why they call it Uncle Bean. There's another minigame called Uncle Launcher, where you fire muscle men onto platforms, but this one is a rather odd pea eating game, where you have to catch your pea in the mouse by pressing the appropriate button for the left side, right side, or middle side. It's unfortunate that the video game market has been saturated with an endless array of minigame compilations, especially on the Wii system, but even with such titles as Mario Party and the WarioWare series, because Bishi Bashi is a bit of a gem in the rough, especially if you like bizarre Japanese cultural humor that makes no sense to people who aren't actually from Japan or are complete weeaboos.